Yeah, man. Well, it's another year, 2024. And hopefully, everybody prosper, stay blessed, stay safe, stay out of trouble, do what you got to do, take care of you and yours. And hopefully, I see you all in 2025. But for those who didn't make it to 2024, prayers out to the loved ones, family, and those who made it, stay blessed, and many more. Yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, I want to start having some discussions over here. Some bills, doing some content, but try to keep it civil, respectful, and things of that nature. Though those who can't, hold an adult conversation, please don't, you know, get up here on the panel. Marley, salute. Now, um, you know, after I do what I need to do with this channel and the other channel, I'm thinking about doing another channel where it's not too serious, but it's not too crazy. Probably be like in the middle, because it's just like the politics and stuff on here. It's just, if you get too entrenched in it, it's like it's draining. And as I said, man, I try to provide platforms where people uh, can display their talents. They can display their intelligence. Do because bills like that is important. People need to build and speak without the drama, and you know get to know people for real, and not personally, but you know your mindset. Because some people are very intelligent, down to earth, and can contribute a lot, but you know um, depending on your environment. This is what I learned about myself. When I changed my environment, I can I had room to change myself. Sean Prince, like I noticed my when I was a kid, my friend had a goldfish. Two of my friends had a goldfish, and one goldfish was left in a small, like a little bowl, and my other friend goldfish had a big tank. And I noticed that the goldfish in the big tank grew big. So it taught me that, according to your environment, it determines if you're going to grow and how far you're going to go. So sometimes you have to change your environment in order to grow. Sometimes, you've grown as much as you can in that environment. You can't grow no more. some people think that's the end. I can't grow no more. This is it. But that might not be the case. You might just need to change your environment. Right, a small tank, right. Well, I grew up in a small tank called, we call it the hood, the block. When I moved out to the Poconos, we called it the woods, from the hood to the woods. And I've learned things, and it broadened my horizons. I'm more open-minded. I'm not seeing things from the perspective of my environment. And it taught me that, everybody, don't think like that. So it made me more patient and understanding. I grew up in the ocean. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. So ultimately, man, I didn't come, I didn't come on social media to take. I came to give. I want to see people succeed. I'm not a hater. I may have an unorthodox way of doing things, but like I said, I adapt to my environment. If I see something ain't working, and I keep doing it, the definition of insanity. Sean Prince, Jessica. So, a lot of people say, I'll be preaching and sermons. Listen, I understand, but a lot of times I'm talking to myself. I got to keep myself on point. I got to check myself. Because once you become an adult, ain't really nobody to check you. But you still gonna have to suffer them consequences. And some people, don't know no better. Now, when you young and that you have an excuse. You don't know no better. You're not supposed to know better because, you're young, you're growing, you're learning. But once you reach a certain age and all of that, you should know better. And if you don't know better, that's on you. And nobody there, to stand on them consequences for you. That's on you. And I love the ladies, the babies, but I always tell the men, children can turn to their mothers and their fathers, but your lady, your wife, you got to turn to you, and who you got to turn to. All praises to the Most High. Because at the end of the day, no matter what nobody say or tell you, as a man, it comes with a certain responsibility. It comes with the glory, and it comes with the blame. Now, some people want all the glory, but they don't want to take the blame. There's duality. It's two sides to a coin. You got friends, and you got we back. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe in coincidence. It was written. I don't believe in manifested destiny. It was written. Dog Philly was meant to be, will be. If it happened, it was supposed to happen. It didn't happen, it wasn't supposed to happen. Move on. Love yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly is all for you. It's all designed for you. Nobody else. Everybody's special. Everybody's their own individual. It's not one person on this planet like you. Bobby Ramos. So don't ever let nobody make you feel like you ain't somebody, like you ain't special. You're one in a million. It's a million sperm cells. And you got it. You won the race. Now, you got twins and stuff like that, But I'm talking to y'all. A salute to the twins. Salute to the twins. And so forth. You already won. You was born a winner. You was born a winner. Out of all them little sperm cells that was racing to the egg, you came in first place. One in a million. So when I hear people say, "Oh, I never won anything. I never won anything in life," you won your life. So remember, you're a survivor. You're a winner. You worked hard to get here. So don't blow it. Pause. But yeah, man. Aaron. What's going on, Aaron? Yeah, so don't let them tell you nothing. Don't let them tell you otherwise. See a lot of people walking around here, they heads down, feeling ashamed to be themselves. And when I say be yourself, I'm not talking about the act. I'm not talking about the act. I'm talking about the being. Talk about you. You got to remember, we all got to act. We all put on acts and characters because, we have to adapt to our surroundings. Society is built a certain way, and there's certain things put in place that are deemed normal. Lazy days. And now don't get me wrong. Some of us need these certain things put in place. Some of them I need. So I must act appropriately according to situations. Now, is that the real me? Of course it is. just acting. If you gotta work at a job, you act a certain way. When you're at home, you act a certain way. When you're in public, you act a certain way. When you're in front of certain people, you act a certain way. But you know, social media has provided a place where you can act a fool without the same consequences that you would have to face in real life. So some people on here act a fool, and they might really be a fool, but they don't act like that all the time. Some people are parents, grandparents, sons, daughters, human beings. See, I learned when I was young that we all human beings. So I used to be the president, or was supposed to be a great moral man and a priest and a teacher and all of these titles on people, on human beings. Then I just realized these are just titles. But if you strip it all away, it's a person. So I learned not to trust labels and titles. I learned not to generalize. You got a few bad apples. What you supposed to do? You bad apples and spoil the bunch. Some people like to throw baby Jesus out with the bathwater. So listen, man. I try not to judge because I'm not the most perfect person in the world. But what I could do is judge myself, speak for myself, and keep myself out of situations. It's not personal. It's not really about you. It's not really about me. It's about those who love me. You see, I never thought about that when I was young. I was ready to go out and I was ready to die for, whatever I believed in. I never thought about the people who I would have left behind. Trooper. So all praises to the Most High. It ain't personal. But I've reached a certain age, and I think, people get to a certain age in life where you got to put childish things away. When you was a kid, you like playing with toys. Some people still like collecting toys and all that. Listen, I got Transformers I collect, but I ain't got time to be playing with them. But yeah, man. Like I said, man, salute to the chat gang, live gang, replay gang, 2024. Now, anybody got any questions, comments? Anybody want to speak on any topics? let me know. I'll drop the link. We back. We back. See who we got out here. Soldier Slim, salute. Yeah, man. Any questions, any comments? Let me see here. So what's good with y'all? John's 1633. Salute, salute, Ali, salute. Team Good Guy. Uh-oh. Yeah, man. But, you know, what could we do, y'all? All we could do is keep trying to, push on, keep moving on. And hopefully we can, create something, a little a place inside of the chaos. We can get away for a second. Not too long though. Not too long. Yeah, man. So you know what I learned? Listen, a lot of people, and salute to those people who start, little communities and stuff like that. But what I learned is, salute to the chat. I've been learning a lot about the chat, and it's really up to the chat. The chat is the people who come to the place where they feel like, they want to go. So, I don't like to, make it a thing with it. They be a part of what we're doing. Now, if you can't, if it's not for you, you can't adapt to it, I get it. But everybody deserve a place, where they could go get away from the drama for a second. Palado. And listen, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. But drama is addictive. Sometimes you need to step out of it, get your bearings, get your mind back right. And some people don't feel comfortable coming into chats and getting on panels because they don't want to get into none of that, drama, there's a lot of politics. Because people tell me, holla, you know, I support from, behind the scenes and all that. I would like to get up there, but it's too, it's too much going on. And I understand it. But this is why I created this platform. But I also know this platform is still, associated and connected with certain things. So I still understand. But I'm going to do my best here to keep this drama free, troll free, and, where people can feel, comfortable. But don't ever get too comfortable. Remember your training. Brian King. So, ain't nobody coming over here attacking people in the chat, on the pan. We ain't doing none of the drama, none of that type of stuff. You can leave all that at the door. But as I said, I'm gonna create another platform, but it's gonna be a little more, a little less serious. But still, we ain't trying to do all the drama. We know, when we want to do drama and all that, we know there's places for that where we could go. That's nothing. So yeah, man. And salute to the mods. Like I said, man, the whole wrench thing, I might take wrenches, listen, don't get attached and feel like nothing about no wrenches or nothing like that. I just don't I just ain't really get the I gotta see who's here consistently and all of that type of stuff, because this is a serious platform. So if I'm gonna have mods gonna have to do what mods do. Like I said, I got Trooper. Trooper can give some pointers and all that. We might even have a live with the mod squad. I gotta be careful with giving names out because Simba. But salute to everybody, man. And what Pamela J, salute. What I learned with the wrenches, right? What I learned with the wrenches is when people have wrenches, it makes them stand out. So now if somebody have a wrench, it makes them stand out. They get a little more attention. People feel like, oh, they must be cool with the content creator and stuff like that. So some people want to have a wrench to feel, important and stuff like that. But now you got the wrenches and you got the moderator wrenches. So it's like, it's a lot of confusion. That people feel some type of way if you give them a wrench and take the wrench, and then you get into the whole wrench drama and all of that type of stuff. And this, sometimes I'll experiment. I'll give everybody a wrench, or I'll give nobody a wrench. It's crazy. But when you deal with a lot of people, I'm used to dealing with people. So I learned, people gonna hate you for whatever you do. You can't make everybody happy. You gotta do what works for you. Inspection, salute, Kane Corso. If people rock with you, they're gonna rock with you through the good, through the bad. As long as you're not abusing, I try not to abuse any position or power that's granted to me because I understand that this was given to me by people. You feel what I'm saying? Some people just, believe like, oh, besides the Most High, all praise to the Most High. But some people just believe they supposed to be in these positions, and you know, I learned through experience, man. I done been in positions of power and abused positions of power. So there's a lot of personalities to deal with, and then you got to deal with your own personality. And sometimes you got to put yours to the side for the greater it's all about the many over the few. You feel me? But some people, try to put the few over the many, and that's when things get complicated. Yeah, man. I don't know. Salute to some, everybody. Listen, I done been in positions of following, positions of leading, positions of trying to get into certain things. Like it's all types of um, scenarios. So I understand how people be feeling. Um, but at the end of the day, you got to put the feelings to the side. If you want to accomplish your goal. I mean, if you don't, you might find another way. Yeah. And this, social media, man, social media is we acting a fool on here. So imagine the generations, our children, like this is gonna be so out of control. And we setting it all up. We are laying the road. We putting the blueprint out. It's just gonna get worse. It's got to get a lot worse before it get better. All the things we did, some of us was the first to do things on social media, and people take ideas and follow what's trending. I done seen it all. I done, this thing turned people into monsters, demons. That's why I tell you, power corrupts. This right here, even on the smallest scale, people, even in the chat, people on here get. Some people never had, power like, uh, you know, notoriety, attention from a lot of people. So You never know what my bad. Excuse me. You never know what somebody will do. You never know. I done seen people do a lot of things to, to narrow it down to its, for attention in whatever form you can imagine. And this right here, this gives people the illusion of the opportunity to live their dreams. It's like the industry. It's like more people don't make it than people make it. So, in reality, most people on here is not gonna make it. But some will. But what you got to remember is a lot of people, you have supporters and people who want to see you win and stuff like that for whatever reason. And I learned by being in the industry and all that, a lot of your supporters and stuff like that, they do things too. They trying to do something too. That's why they gravitated towards you. So some people just look at people, oh, these are my fans, they just here because they love me. I'm the best. But a lot of people is not there for you. They there for the opportunity, like you there for. Because you got to remember, once upon a time, you was one of these people trying to find an opportunity and meet somebody like you. Hold on. Brian King, salute. Appreciate the Cash App. Uh-oh, I got another Cash App in here. Oh, I don't think I'm supposed to say nothing. Okay. Appreciate the Cash App. Oh, Brian King is 2 Cash Apps in here. My bad. Appreciate the Cash Apps, my brother. Yeah, man. And all praises to the Most High. I feel like, these things, I have to say, because, maybe nobody is saying them or giving the same perspective. Everybody has a perspective, and, everybody knows things. And I feel like, listen, all praises to the Most High. We have this social media thing here, and, information is only as good as, as it's only as good as those who receive the information. Like if you hold on to the information, one day, we all are going to pass on to the next. We're all going to leave this earth. So if you leave this earth without passing on that information or your perspective and all that, like then it's gonna die with you. Ming, salute. So me, I'm trying to get out all the information I'll be learning and all the perspectives. I'll just be trying to listen. I got this thing right here where you got to talk and people is listening. So I'm just going, everything I soak in, I'm trying to put it all out there. I used to want to write a book, but I have so much information, I'm going to have to write mad books. But so now I could just, I don't got to write no books. I can just talk. You feel me? And I notice now, people miss my information. I used to use it for negative uh reasons, and I didn't have this type of information I have now, but my mind still kind of works the same. But people still be calling me for and the things they be asking me, I'll be like, wow, I used to entertain this type of stuff. Like this stuff used to excite me. Like they asking me ways to do negative things. Like I can't, you know. Serial killer, salute. I got a gift I got a gift of influencing people, but I got a curse of doing it negative in a negative way. Like I corrupt people for some reason. So I learned maybe I have to, uncorrupt myself, first before because I could just be telling a story and somebody will go out and try something I said inside the story, and I'm not realizing that I'm telling them how to do something, but I'm not really telling them how to do it. It's only a part that I'm telling in the story, so they'll go try it, and then they'll come back like, "Oh, you told me. I didn't tell you to do anything." So now I have to watch how I tell stories. Hustle Man 3.0. You have influenced me in the way. Thank you, Simba. I appreciate that. All praises to the Most High. I appreciate it. Now listen, I got a couple of people when I was starting to change I think I'm not even was yeah. But when I was starting to change, I got a couple of people that I influenced in a good way, and they still, you know, let me know to this day. But I tell you, I run into I run into people from my past, and the things that they tell me that they think I'm gonna be proud of. I would have been proud of. All praises to the Most High before my faith, but now I'll be like, oh my God, like wow. I was like, wow, like I ain't have, I still don't got it all, but I was like, and they got my same kind of sense of humor. Like it's kind of like it's funny, but I can't laugh. Like it's not really funny. But I don't really laugh at situations. See, people, coming up, I'll laugh at things that people may think is real, you know, not laughable, but I laugh at the irony. I don't really laugh at the situation. I laugh at the irony of the situation. I would give examples, but then it would sound crazy. I can't. But I'm not laughing at the situation. Like I don't be laughing at people. I laugh at the irony. Like you ever seen like a baby, like a kid, a toddler, and they do something that you did when you was a kid. They make the same mistake and you laugh. You're not laughing because they fell and bumped their head. You're not laughing at that. You're laughing at the irony of the situation. I can't explain it. I don't know. My sense of humor is different, but from the outside looking in, how people interpret me, they try to mimic how they interpret me, but that's not really how I am. Like, my mind is the way I think about stuff is like, I'm quiet, so I really don't explain these things. So now I learn how to And salute to this right here. This helped me learn how to articulate myself a little bit more, be a little bit more patient, let people, And I'm not gonna lie. I used to not let people talk, and I see why. Because some people can go on, like, can ramble on, you know, like me. I get your point quick. Like I could get the point, and once I get the point, and then you keep on trying to drive the point, you know, it's like, okay, I get it. Amanda Erickson, salute. I don't know, but I've learned patience. So now I'll let them go for a little while, and I understand. It's not about me. It's not about me. All praises to the Most High. I got to tell myself this stuff. Oh Lord, have mercy. We starting already. Jesus. Did I make the whole speech? Did I? Okay. Okay. Everybody happy now? Sheesh. Don't thank me. You must have not been here for the wrench speech. Okay. But yeah, any questions, any comments? Anybody got anything to say? Any topics? Okay, calm down, y'all. Calm down. It could become if tomorrow your wrench could be gone. Everyone's wrench. Please, please don't get attached to no wrench. Please. Lord, come on, y'all making me break character. Try to trying to stay, you know? That gotta help me out. But yeah, man. So what's good with y'all? How's y'all week? How's y'all week going so far? Uh-oh. Gift and a curse. How you doing? How you doing, Miss Lady? Y'all off the chain. Why? And this is what I always say. Everybody always is having fun. And this is why I created the after party, the after show, because I sit here and try to maintain my composure. I see everybody having a good time and laughing and having a great time. So sometimes it's kind of difficult for me, you know. I want to have fun too. Tiara, Bobby Ramos, salute. I don't know what's going on here now. Okay. Uh-oh. Lord have mercy. Nope, I can't, Kane. I can't do it. Can't turn this page out. It's time and a place for everything, you know. But hey, listen. Don't let me be a party pooper. Don't let me be a party pooper. I'm just hating. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just hating right now. Don't mind me. Just trying to cope. I'm just hating. Don't mind me, y'all. Carry on. Carry on. This is good for me. This is practice. This is good for me. I can't just go running off to have fun. I can't just do it. I have to keep my composure. You know how difficult when I play the music, right? I'll be trying to I'll be trying not to say let's go when I play the music. It'd be so difficult. I'll be back here. It'd be difficult to hold back my laugh because you know I like to, you know, you know. But listen, I have to do this. I have to do this. This is as an example. This page was made as an example. It's an experiment. So if I cut up, then that's it. It's over. I got to hold the line. I got to hold the line. Thank you, Simba. Thank you. Simba said it's okay for y'all. Listen, y'all have to think about me. It's okay for y'all. You have to. Simba said it's okay. Thank you, Simba. That's so nice. Maybe once in a while I'll let it, you know, I'll let old let's go. You know, we have a guest. It's Pamela.
Hey, what are you doing?
You know.
I'm just listening to you. I got in the car and I was just
She must have hit a dead zone. Oh Lord, this is not the spot of gift and a curse. If you would listen, if you would have listened to what I was saying right before that comment, instead of calling it ranting, you would have heard. Lord. Hey, Pamela.
what were you saying about me? I couldn't hear a damn word you were saying because I kicked myself off. I'm in the car. I'm in his car and I'm trying to adjust the seat and stuff and I don't know what I'm doing.
No, I thought I said you might have hit a dead zone.
No, no, I am in the garage in the car, but I I just wanted to come up. I think that you don't give yourself enough kudos for really what you do as a content creator, um, and the way that you spread knowledge, and you can make it fun, and you can. I think you were debating something with somebody a few days ago, and just the back and forth and getting the different opinions and not making people feel like their opinion's wrong or whatever. I mean, there are some people, that's an art in conversation, and I think you master it very well.
I appreciate that. All praises to the Most High. Appreciate that. So you do you have any topic, any questions for me, or
um what was the what was the was is it just like open topic, or did you want
yeah,
to
it's
throw
Q
some?
and A. It's Q and A. Any topic you want to talk about?
um I mean, you and I've talked about so much stuff. I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
um, I don't know. You most of the time when I talk about stuff, you don't be knowing.
Did you? Yeah. Well, if we want to talk like current events, maybe you can help me with that.
Okay, so what have you been hearing? I know you there be stuff going around with your kids in the household. I know they be speaking about things that's going on. Like what? I know the
Mm,
was it the
no, my
Grammys?
yeah, yeah. What happened? That just sorted out. What was going on with all that nonsense?
I don't even know. I know um Killer Mike got arrested at the Grammys.
Why? What?
Uh,
That's what I wanted to. Oh my god! I can't get this fucking car out. Oh, sorry, sorry. I apologize. Um, I'm sorry. I,
oh yeah, you breaking up your the sound.
yeah. Well,
Oh yeah, you sound like a robot. But yeah, I did a video on that Killer Mike. I'm not sure what he got arrested for. There's a lot of different stories. King Charles King Charles was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Wow. Imagine that. So I'm not gonna even think about it. That's not right. That's not right. I was thinking about the other one. What's the other brother? Like he's like the next in the line, right? Yeah, it's probably reception. Salute, Pamela. Appreciate you. Yeah, but Killer Mike, I did a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that video. Hold on. We back. Rock Wallace, salute. We back. The citizen's arrest. What's going on with this? Yeah. I was going through. Oh, my bad. I forgot the Killer Mike. Oh Lord. I ain't gonna lie. I was turning up. I was turning up. I forgot. I just had deja vu.
Killer Mike, who won 3 Grammy Awards, was detained at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles on Sunday. The arrest followed an altercation inside the venue after his joyful moments at the Grammys premiere ceremony. The incident occurred around 4 p.m. as captured in a video posted by The Hollywood Reporter.
So, May, you said it was a security guard? Oh no, Kane. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I'm just trying to stay in, this is my serious character for the serious page. I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, you can check this whole video out on my uploads.
Mike's representative has not responded on the matter so far.
Not guilty. He was being walked out of handcuffs. And I instantly thought, hold on, bro, they had to do it right there on the spot like that there. And I ain't gonna put no speculation on the situation. We is on the internet. You know, people gonna come with the conspiracy theories or this or that and things of that nature. But there is a reporter from Hollywood who's on the scene named Chris Gardner. And to my understanding, he caught the footage and he spoke to some officials back there.
Yeah, so this I'm not sure what's going on. I haven't, heard too much more.
And this is what he said. The scene by security is calm, but Mike is still detained back there. Just spoke to an official who tells me it's a misdemeanor and has nothing to do with anything that happened today here inside the arena.
Now, some people say it had nothing to do with what happened in the arena. Now, some people saying he got into an altercation with a security guard.
Not guilty.
So, yeah. Kenzo, salute. Yeah, that's all the information I really got on that. California loves citizens arrest. Yeah, man. Serial killer. Any more topics? Any more trending topics? Any more questions? Any questions y'all got? Yeah, that was kind of That was kind of embarrassing. And I think he won 3 Grammys that night. He even did the jig on the stage. He even did the jig, gave praises to the Most High. They did him dirty. Killer Mike situation was frustrated. He used a voice, a lot of voice. Yes, yep. I could definitely believe that. You know how it goes, man. That's part of the game. That's part of the game. But we don't know what happened. I guess we'll find out as time moves on. But I ain't see a lot of people speaking out yet. Maybe they just trying to figure it out too. But I mean, as far as like celebrities and people like that, I heard a couple of people said stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. But as far as like publicly and things like that, yeah, I could believe that, Ali. I could definitely believe that. I could definitely believe, but I think they did that to embarrass him. You know how they do, public shame and everyone always wants to see black and white. Yeah, this is America, Ray Jones. This is America. Jay-Z was mad Beyonce didn't win. Oh, okay. I think I heard something about that, Amanda. Like, yeah, but that's how they do it, man. Since the Roman times, man, they parade. That's how they do it, man. Well, if you believe in Romans, yeah, I don't even want to get into that. Peoples, what's good? Peoples, come on, Peoples. Lord have mercy. You see what y'all done started? You see what y'all done started? Lord have mercy. It's your fault, Allie. Jay-Z was absolutely correct, just like Kanye was for the same thing. Oh yeah, I remember the Taylor Swift. I think it was Taylor Swift. I think ODB did that, right? Did ODB do something like that? Pamela.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm on CVS's pharmacy, so
I'm done.
Oh my gosh. No, so did you find out anything or whatever? No.
I heard some people saying he got an altercation with a security guard. Some people saying it had something to do with something else. So I'm not really sure.
I guess we'll never know. It'll always be somebody's word against somebody else's anyway.
Yeah, I guess when he, when he released a statement and all that, we'll hear what he got to say. And I hope, the police is probably going to release a statement. So,
well, here I with not knowing anything that happened other than that he was given the perp walk, right?
Right.
I mean, firstly, his name for somebody. Let's say it's a person that called citizens arrest on him or whatever they did, with a name like Killer Mike. they were probably, if they did not know who the hell he was from Adam, right? They probably scared, number one, even if he just, didn't do it, even if he didn't do anything.
Oh, so somebody called the citizen's arrest?
That's some of the rumors I was hearing too. Like he brushed up against or some, like I don't know.
But he just won 3 Grammys. I'm pretty sure they knew who he was. They came into the Grammys to get him.
Not the people that, you know what? Maybe you're right. But who was it? Was it somebody that's checking people's tickets and backstage passes and letting them in, or who?
Right.
We don't know who it was.
So if they worked there, I'm pretty sure they would have known Killer Mike was on was going to be there.
Maybe he, I'm rambunctious. If he would have started getting hyper with me, I would have been like, hey man, I would know how to handle it. Some people don't, you know what I mean? Like they just take it too far and just blow it out of proportion.
Yeah.
Well,
salute. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like it could have been that, but I will say, because I don't know him per se, I was just talking to a few people, and that's what we were talking about could have possibly happened. But I think the highlight, I did not watch the Grammys, let me just say that, but the highlight of the night to me, and I got chills to see, Tracy Chapman is gorgeous. Her eyes sparkle like she's got such a pure soul to me. I don't know if she's got any history or background of anything that's gone on or whatever, but she and Luke Combs doing that song together, her song together with him was so fantastic.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. That's what's up.
They did. Luke Combs is a country singer that covered her song, and they did it together. And when it was over, he bowed, he curtsied to her and said, "It's all her," he said he loved that song so much. It was a tribute to her, Right. When it first happened, there were a lot of people that came out, saying, the people have all different opinions, but they both looked so happy, and she just looked she was just pure gorgeousness up there. Proud and happy, and it just did my heart good. I was just like, man, this is beautiful. And if they panned the audience, and people were just you could see everybody was just together in it, you know what I mean? So then I heard Jay-Z made a speech too, but I didn't, and you know me, I don't really like to talk on things I don't really know about too much, so I don't know what his deal was, but I know a lot of the stars are starting to ban the Grammys and don't want to go to the Grammys. Do you think that's your consensus?
Yeah, I don't really watch the Grammys like that.
Yeah, I don't either, so.
Hassan, salute. What's going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Hassan, I wasn't even looking at my phone. I'm just staring, talking into space.
How y'all doing this evening?
I'm very good. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So you got a topic, or you want to contribute to the topic?
I mean, I think, well, I was really going to ask you because I didn't really hear your thoughts. I mean, what's your thoughts on that situation with, Killer Mike at the Grammys? Like,
I really don't know what happened, but I think they didn't have to do him like that with taking him out in them handcuffs like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see why you say that. I heard, I mean, I don't know if it's true because, I don't watch none of those award shows, but I had saw something about him getting arrested, and it had nothing to do with, that night. That's what was being said, that it was a prior charge, and they caught up with him at the Grammys. And then at that, it was just a misdemeanor at that.
I heard that too. Yeah, I played that. I got a video where I played that, and then it's another, but it's two conflicting stories though.
Oh, it is? Oh, yeah, okay. I have no idea.
Yeah, one saying he had an altercation with a security guard, and the other one saying is it's what you said.
Yeah.
I don't really know. We gotta wait till the police or he make a statement. You know,
I
so
feel like I feel like, man, he's a celebrity. He'll be all right. We know how this goes though. We know how it goes. You get a positive, that happens to you, and then sometimes right after a negative happens, or sometimes while the positive is happening, the negative transpires. We know that this is how this goes, and he's a celebrity. How many dads or moms have been arrested at, like, let's say their children's function, and it's not really an uproar about it. Let's say a dad, he gets arrested at his son's football game, on charges that, were ill, like they weren't legitimate charges, or let's say a mom gets walked out of her child's award show in high school or something like that. These people don't get spoken about, but because he's a celebrity, the focal point is him, and it just so happened to be the Grammys. You know what I'm saying?
right. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. But Killer Mike, he's more than a celebrity. Like, he's a pillar of his community. He speaks out and educates and stuff like that. So it's kind of different, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, because he's like an advocate and stuff, and does a lot for his.
Right.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's not like just a regular. I'm not saying he's better than nobody. I'm just saying,
Right.
he's not like a regular celebrity. Like, he does a lot of things.
I don't know anything about him, so that's why I was somewhat hesitant to say anything. And you're saying he's an advocate for the community. In what regards does he? What does he do?
Well, he teaches, about the economy and how to build your own business and
Nice. Okay.
grow your own food and be self preservation and things of that nature.
So he has his hat in a lot of arenas. He's
Right.
at the Grammys. He's obvious. I'm assuming he could be a singer or a rapper. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a rapper. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Who knows? But somebody could have taken the opportunity to I gotta watch my choice of words. Somebody could have taken the opportunity to perp Walkman like that because they thought he was yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because when you
Yeah.
say by his name being Killer Mike and all that, because from you don't know who this is, so it's gonna
Right.
look a certain way to you, and that's why I said when they brought him out in the handcuffs and all of that, they knew what they was kind of doing. He just won 3 Grammys, so they knew who he was. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And to be fair, I think also maybe, like, when they approached him and they actually arrested him and detained him or whatever, I'm pretty sure that the police weren't walking up to him with his rap name and saying, "Hey, Killer Mike." I'm pretty sure they said the name that was on the paperwork. You get what I'm saying? I mean, if I was to assume, if it was like because of a prior incident before the day of the show, whichever rumor is correct. But I don't think they called him Killer Mike. Killer Mike is just what people who know him as that know him.
I'm just
I had no clue. I thought maybe he was one of those drill rappers or something.
Right.
I mean, that's what some people. That's what my point. I'm trying to go from a different perspective of like how some other people, but I don't know where he was approached.
He's like in his I think he's like 50s, late 40s. So I think he's not like
watch it with that age stuff there, Mister.
No, because you said a drill rapper, so
I mean, he could. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there's a certain age on that, right? I guess.
Yeah, like maybe. Drill rap is kind of new. It's like
Well, I mean, was he approached after the award ceremony was over and people were coming out, or did they go? I mean, I mean, a lot of factors come into play, right? Like,
Right. That's why I
if they
said
would have,
I
if
don't.
they and as a man, if they approached him where he felt like he was being disrespected, he could have maybe come off a little like, hey, you know, like, did they give him the courtesy to say, hey, listen, by government name, we've got some things we need to talk to you about. Can we go back here or whatever? And you still, I hate to say it, you still would, I'd say, I'm coming back here with you as long as I have witnesses, man. I need witnesses back here with me or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
No, I understand what you're saying, but when it's the Grammys, so he's a guest at the Grammys, and he won the Grammy, so they know he's gonna win. You see what I'm saying? They know who he is and all of that. So, I think it was, they just wanted to take him out there in the cuffs so the people can, make a display out of it. But I'm not saying I don't know what else is going on. I'm not assuming anything, but I'm pretty sure when they came to detain him, he didn't try to fight or whatever, where he had to be put in the cup. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Well, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, right? So let's say he starts going off and starts.
But I'm pretty sure he would. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't go off like he's
right.
Not like,
but see, that's you and I. Because you know his demeanor. You know what he's really about, as opposed to these people that just are assigned to go pick him up. Right? They don't. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to make. There's too many layers to it. There would be like so many layers. Like, you think that the LAPD or wherever, were they held in LA? I'm assuming. Whatever city it was held in, they were probably like, you know what, we're gonna get him when he goes to
it's like if his name was Machine Gun Kelly. If it was Machine Gun Kelly, like, would it be a different situation if he was Machine Gun Kelly?
Absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's not having to do with the name.
This is true too. I mean, do I think that there are some people that wouldn't have that happen to them? Yeah, there are people that wouldn't have it happen to them, and there are people that would have it happen to them. That's, basically.
Right.
Do you think they would have done it to like Denzel Washington or?
Nah, I doubt it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you start putting it into that type of perspective, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. He's not known to be, he wears suits. You know what I'm saying? He's an actor. Like, he done been on all of these, CNNs and all of these things. He done been on all of these
that's
shows.
like so
Yeah,
weird.
so.
Now that you're telling me and teaching me, and I'm learning from you, like, what his background is.
Yeah.
It makes it even more like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah, I understand, because, it's Killer Mike. I can understand if you don't know who he is, but that's how they try to display him to the people.
But anybody that's any cops that are coming up, they know the background. They know what they're dealing with. They could have given him the courtesy to say, hey, if they had a legitimate arrest warrant or whatever the hell they had, right? They could have given him the courtesy. And I mean, you see the cops all the time. They have, before they go get or serve anybody, they do a lowdown on what what he's charged with, what he's this, what he's that. So I mean, it just doesn't seem, something's not right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. I feel like
you're all right. No, you're fine. No, you're perfectly fine. I'm saying, listening to you. I mean, because I kind of agree with you. I mean, but at the same time, it's like, man, these people, police, period, they pick and choose, who they want to do stuff to. I mean, but think about it. Like, when Will Smith did what he did, he didn't get like bum rushed or arrested. So, we can't really, it's like courtesy is at the officer's discretion. That's what I say. They don't have to show it to everyone.
Yes.
Right.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, why didn't they bum rush the stage when Will did that to another black man at that?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to bring. I don't like to bring race into it. Society makes me bring race into it.
Right.
You see
But
what
if
I'm saying?
that man, like they could have, man, I'm pretty sure after winning 3 Grammys at the awards event, he wouldn't have gave them no resistance on walking out with them, because that's embarrassing.
Exactly.
Why would he want to embarrass himself after he won 3 Grammys? You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, did they give him the courtesy to say, hey, can we talk to you back? You please, come on, please. Or the cops could have like gotten a hold of the Grammy play. Who knows? And said, listen, we're gonna let him get his Grammys and stuff.
Yeah, they could have walked him out the back. They walked him
That's
out
what I'm saying. That
where
all of that could
everybody
have
is
been-
at. Like they didn't walk
Right.
him out where the celebrities come in at and none of that. Like they walked him
Right.
out right in
It
the
was
front.
probably another one of those, Hollywood public shaming routines. Like,
That's what I'm
oh, okay,
saying.
you think
it would not
because you're
surprise
this and you've got this award, you think because you got all these accolades and you've accomplished and you're doing all these things, we got something for you right in front of the public eye. There you go. And the police, if we really think about these officers who probably have a typical job of, that's their typical job, just being an officer. No one really knows who they are. Well, imagine how that officer feels when he realizes, oh, I get to arrest someone, a celebrity at the Grammys.
Right.
I don't really care. I don't really think they care who at that time, whoever that officer is that has the intent to arrest someone, I don't really think they care who it is, as long as they get to arrest a celebrity and be the officer that's known for doing so. You get what I'm saying?
No, I definitely get that, but I kind of think him being who he is played a part in that, because when he won that, he's a rapper that's not supposed to win that Grammy, because he's talking about the things we say we want people to talk about. He's
Right.
doing the things we say that rappers and all that should be doing, and he got up there and he thanked the Most High, and he did the jug dance and all of that. And, I think they didn't like that. You feel what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I agree with you, in a sense, definitely. Because as I said, I believe a lot of them, they go through that whole public shaming. And sometimes even you hear these people talk about the doors that they walk through. So without being real specific, this could have been one of those opportunities that they're presenting to him. Like, okay, you won these awards. All right, now here's your opportunity to step through this door so we can make you bigger than who you actually are. You know what I'm saying? Like every time someone comes out of jail or they come out of jail or they had to deal with the police, you don't hear from them for a while, and the next thing you know, they blow up, or next thing you know, their career has just been totally slandered. Like their name has been slandered, and then from that situation with police or whatever, their name becomes tarnished, or they next thing you know, they're in every movie, they're in every commercial, they're in every
I get it. Yeah, that could be the case.
And it's not like the normal everyday people like us that interact with each other. For the most part, it's the elite that do this kind of crap. You almost have to sell your soul, it seems like, in Hollywood. I mean, there's so much crap that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. But how did the other, was he, in your opinion, with his rap, was he deserving of the award? Or do you think there was what was the consensus amongst the group of people he was up against for the award? I don't even know who was in the category, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know who was in the category, but that with Hassan playing off of that, what you said about the cops that want to go in there. Yeah, there are plenty of them that want to do that, but you know what? That's a slippery slope. if that person that they perp walked has a big enough following, that could either turn out to be you could either have to go into hiding because of what you did. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on how much of a fan base that person has, right?
But like Kane said, it's known to be corrupt, allegedly.
Yeah, and some of those police, their typical salary, whatever they make per year, they might look at that as an opportunity. Like, hey, listen, I can get you off of this. Listen, you're Killer Mike, man. You got it. I can get you off of this if you slide me a couple of. I know someone who knows someone. Like, some of those police wait for that opportunity because, like, though it's not really a high profile case, right? Because it's not anything like he's facing murder or nothing like
That's
that. But
exactly
he's
what
like
I'm saying.
he's a high profile right now in this light, a high profile celebrity. Like, he's known for being arrested now at the Grammys. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, he could have had like multiple parking citations for all we know. Because let's be real.
Yeah, we don't know what it is.
If he had like some major humongous charge on him, they would have dug that up and already slandered his name.
That's what I'm saying. They did that so we can speculate and come up with all of these.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. You said that at the beginning, and I'm just coming to the conclusion that, you know what, I just always play things through my head, like each scenario, like, why would they do this? Why? And we all know why, but I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy. And like, the cops could have been like, oh, let's see. It's the whole, what is that effect they call it, where they make you believe what you're seeing is true and it's not, or it's not, or whatever.
Yeah, because they trying to tarnish his reputation because he's known as an activist, a pillar of the community.
Right.
So to bring him out in cuffs like that, his name is Killer Mike. People, of course, who don't know him, they're gonna assume he's just some gangster rapper or something like that. And
that's what I'm saying from the outside looking in. That's what I was saying.
Because you gotta remember, when this happened, we should already have information. The LAPD should already put out something. You see what I'm saying? We should have already heard something. So they holding it back for a reason.
Well, don't they pre-announce the nominations?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying.
Right. If he would have had some heinous crap going on, don't you think they would have like thrown it out there? Oh, Grammy Award nominated.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you get arrested, it's public information. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So we won't. Yeah. I mean, there are so many scenarios that could play out with this. It's ridiculous, but
you wonder why the media didn't find out what's going on and put and tell. It's like a lot of stuff is crazy.
I just feel for the person that. I mean, let's just put it in basic terms. If you do wrong, you deserve to get punished, right? But if you don't do anything, imagine the frustration, especially for certain races, maybe genders or whatever, when you know you're right and you haven't done anything wrong and something could have been handled in a different way.
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure.
To compose that, to hold that anger in and try to restrain yourself from going off.
I'm pretty sure when they took him out in cuffs, I'm pretty sure if any reporter or anything like that would have followed him to whatever precinct and went in there and tried to get information. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't understand how we don't know a little bit more about what's going on.
I'm surprised they didn't have however this went down, didn't have the what do they call them, the actors they put in the crowds to get them like all like
crisis actors
hyped up. Yeah, crisis actors, like trying to get him all hyped up, like saying some bogus crap to him. That's why your managers like managers of music, people in the industry or actors or whatever, they got to go through a lot of training on how to deal with that kind of crap. Because if you're a hothead, you're going to have a hard time, and somebody might look at it and say he had every right to go off on that person. But a majority of people are going to flip it around to where he's the bad guy.
And don't be surprised if he doesn't, capitalize off of this and find it, lucrative for himself, by coming out with a book that says something like "The night I got arrested at the Grammys" and stuff like that. Like,
That's
don't be
true.
surprised when you start seeing, that type of stuff. Like, the night that I got 3 charges, or I got charged and I won multiple Grammys, and stuff like that. And then
I think he got out of a book, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I mean, like, another, So just think about the Grammys for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it's like a milestone within their career.
Right.
So he might have previously wrote books, right? But who's to say that those books aren't going to be as interesting as the day that he got arrested after winning awards and stuff? You get what I'm saying?
No, I get
Depends
it.
on
Like,
your mindset, right?
right.
Yeah.
I get if he was trying to be, the rapper and all, but he's like, he used to rap back in the days and he changed his life. His rap is just something he still does, so it's not really a good look for what he's trying to do. He's trying to probably move into getting into offices and stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Like, why would you? Yeah. Why would he want to bring negative attention? Yeah, he wouldn't want to. He wouldn't want to purposely, right? I don't believe. I would hope not. I gotta look. I'm gonna have to research him and look up his books and see if I can find him on some. I'm somewhat integrated in the business world, and I'd never heard of this person. So maybe I know him by his. Does he go when he goes on? Like financial or business channels, does he use his? I'm assuming he uses his government name, not his rap name.
Well, if you're a rapper, they'll always, even if you'll come on and say, your name, they always gonna be like, this is such and such, also known as the rapper or singer or actor. You feel what I'm saying? So they always introduce you because that's what brings the views. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's another shame. It's another situation where it's a shame that somebody couldn't celebrate their achievements or their hard work and dedication, to show you that maybe I didn't do things right. And we all are guilty of this, right? I'm not guilty. Have ran into this before in our lives. Like, I didn't really mean to do it like that. I'm going to do it different this time. And then people still are just, it's never good enough for some people. Like, your redemption will never satisfy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Like, he's trying to do the right thing. And they wonder why the youth is like, the youth is probably looking at that like, man, Killer Mike was like,
right.
I was learning from him, but look what happened to him. Forget that crap, man.
That's how I got like I was, man. I used to just see it. It's not even worth it.
My son talks about it all the time, and we try to keep telling him, like, he was taught, he like you said, the kids, like, what do I talk about with my kids? Well, he wants the laws. What was the book? What is, like, Robert Greene? He wants to read Robert Greene's book. But he says to me, Mom, how are we supposed to, like, this is what everybody's telling us to do, but we look and everybody else is doing different stuff, and it's like, what the hell? We can't survive.
Right.
We cannot survive. So I just look at it that way too, like the youth looking at that and saying, he's done a lot. I saw him. He helped me. He's making, I might want to go to college to learn how to start my own business or, mentor with somebody. Yeah. And then you see all this happening and they're like, you know what? What's the use in doing it? There's kids that are going to think that.
I learned that young, like with crime and all, like, I'm a logical kind of person. So I noticed that with the people in power tell us not to do and what's wrong, is the things that they did to get into power.
Right.
Yes.
So it kind of messed my mind up. Like, it's like, y'all trying to trick me.
Right. It's almost like politics. I always say it. People go into it with good intention, but they have to end up selling their soul or they get the hell out because they just can't. Some people's conscience can't be bought, or whatever. You can't. But unfortunately, so it's just unfortunate that, and I'm sort of like you, Hollow, and I'm sure, Jay, you're like this too. Like, it's the youth. I think about the kids, like what they see, and you want them to have hope and all that good stuff. That's why it's so important to have mentors that work with the kids and like say, Killer Mike's like, he's a celebrity. You want to have your within your community people that you look up to, and you can those mentors and communities are so important in my opinion.
Right. 2020 twin. That's true. Great point.
So
Yeah, I agree with you as far as like the same people who enforce, they break the same things that they enforce.
right.
The same people who expect for you to walk this thin line,
Mhm.
they all on the side of the line and all this other stuff. And these are the same people who dictate and rule over everything that we do in life. So it makes you feel like, it's all orchestrated. Like, it's not by coincidence.
Mhm.
That's why they feel so free to tell you what to do, and then you see them doing something else, and then there's no repercussions for them doing so.
Mhm. Right. It's so true. It's so true. That's why they need the positive reinforcement of men and women that have succeeded, even though it was hard, succeeded. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, man.
and they're not going to get that and I think we've said this on numerous occasions on numerous subjects that we can't idolize celebrities because they live in a totally different you know what I mean? So I mean, kudos to them. I mean, there's some of them that master a craft and they excel at it and they do very well and they put a lot of hard work into it, and those are the ones you respect, right? So just like with anything in life, right? That's what I try to tell my kids, like anything in life, your first impression, the way you act, the way you speak, you could talk however you want. I mean, for the most part with your buddies and stuff, you're going to talk differently or whatever, but just I don't know, these kids, I worry about them, but
What could we do?
huh?
I said, what could we do? They're gonna be here after us.
I know, and you know what, and I'm sure our parents worried about us,
Yeah.
with us when they heard let's see, who was one of the first, when you talk about hip hop, like hip hop was great, you know what I mean, but like who was like the first groups started coming out with the more racy stuff.
Right.
Like in my family, because so integrated with different races and stuff like that, we'd have to, they'd listen to they're like, I don't see what you guys see in this music. I don't see, especially like the cussing and the carrying on and all of that stuff. But
Yeah, that was
yeah.
kind of my generation, that type of music stuff. But I remember before that time where hip hop was more, it was less of that type of.
Yeah, like what, Dougie Fresh,
KRS One.
yeah, the the skating
Like,
rink music.
I think Cool G Rap was one of the first that came
LL Cool J,
yeah,
those, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? That was, like, well, if we don't hip hop, I love old school hip hop, so.
yeah. I love it all. I love all hip hop, like the good, the bad. Yeah.
Yeah. You like the good, the bad? Do you like Do you like the drill music? If I'm not mistaken, I think drill music, like, it's more prominent over in other like countries. Like, isn't the UK?
Yeah, I think I can't appreciate. The reason I say I like the good and the bad, because I don't think I could appreciate the good without the bad.
Nah, that's true.
You
And you
know,
know what? And isn't music music is people's feelings and life experiences, right? So
right?
who am I to disregard what somebody wants to sing? If long gone are the days where a parent can micromanage, in my opinion, once your kid hits a certain age, what they're going to hear or not, unless you keep them locked up in the house and homeschool them.
Yeah, but that's what
You
I'm
know what I
saying.
mean?
That's how I learned. That's how some people got to learn. Like, the worse it get, the more you appreciate the good. You know, you don't appreciate what you have till it's gone. You know, so
Yeah, like you could say to your younger your tween kids, like your ones that are in between teenagers and like 9, 10, 11, 12. Will you tell them, I don't want you listening to that stuff? And they're like, okay, I'm not buying you that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But they hear it over at their friends' houses whose parents are like, you can listen to whatever you want to.
You know what? And this is kind of off subject, but kind of still on in a sense, I guess, as far as celebrities. But what
Mhm.
gets me about these celebrities is that whenever they go through some sort of, traumatizing, or what they would call traumatizing, event or situation, it's like they want, and I don't say this to be disrespectful to us, but they want the layman, the average person, to care. Like, you uh remember when Tyrese was talking about child support, like, and complaining about how much, and all these things, and it's like, man, you're seeking empathy from people who don't even have nowhere near as much money to you as you, and you're crying and whining about how much you have to pay. Like, you hear the Tarajis talking about, I worked my whole life, you know in my career, to become the best actor and all this stuff, and it's still not shown by the payments that I'm getting and stuff. But then you go to list all the people that you have to uh divide funds amongst, and then you talk about your take home after that, and it's like you talking to people who don't even have people or the funds to divide amongst people, like, what I'm saying. So it's like, it gets me, is because, like, we become so invested with these people, but when you really think about it, it's like, you know these people don't know of our existence, and nor do they care about our problems, if we're going through financial problems, or problems with the law or something like that, or whatever, or a bias in the work field, or but when they go through it, they expect the whole world to care about it. And if you ask me, it's real narcissistic, if you ask me.
I think, I think some people might be in that relatable mind to them that, oh, such and such celebrities going through the same thing I'm going through, so it happens to them too, but not realizing the volume, right?
Right. And I can see what you're saying with that. I can
But
understand that as well. Like, hey, they're not
exactly
too
right.
big to
Yeah,
to to experience what we all experience. I get that.
exactly. Like, they're like, oh, you're sick. But at the same time, I'm not that type. I'm like, you know what? I told my son this the other night. I said, everyone's problems are your own problems. So what might be catastrophized to you may not be to somebody else. Just always know that in your life. So when you're complaining to somebody about your problems, you don't have any money, you don't make enough money, how are you supposed to live? you need to look at yourself and say, what am I doing to make it a better situation? Because nobody's gonna like feel sorry for you.
Right.
There are people that will, but most people aren't. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of people act like they did.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like $1,000 to, you know, like the NBA players to get fined like $50,000 for cussing or something. That's like $5 to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like to put it on that type of scale. For some other person, that's like their laundromat money. That could be a
Right.
loaf of bread and a gallon of milk, cereal. I mean, whatever, you know, and all of us are like trying to struggle to buy food and blah, blah. You're right. You're right, Jay. It's like, you're like, please go cry in your mansion on the hill. But at the same token, they have issues too, that we can't negate the fact that they have issues that are within the realm of their reality that we wouldn't even think about.
But that's why I say a lot of people say more money, more problems. I think it's
Right.
more. I think it's more fame, more problems.
True. That's good. Good.
Because the problems come when people know you got money.
Yeah, I was gonna say both. Really, I was gonna say the more that they obtain, the more the more problems they get. You know, that's what it seemed like.
If people don't know, you got this. People want to buy the big houses, the expensive cars. They want to be flashy, like, and that's when the problems come. If you just live how you live, but you got money, you get all of those problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People
I
like
see it all the time. I see it all the time. I work in the financial field.
Yeah, and I know people in the Poconos, they wear Wranglers and busted.
Yeah.
They rich, but they don't have a lot of problems.
I'm telling you, I've told you this story and I've said it many a times, and I'm sorry if it's a repeat, but I'll never forget the time I walked through the lobby and there was an older gentleman in the lobby of our firm, and he was like in just regular Dockers with like some old New Balances on, you know, like a shirt. And when I looked at they were prepping for his meeting and the portfolio that this man had, I was astounded. Now, and I'm not typically the type of person, because I know people like this, right? So it doesn't really faze me, but I've just laughed to myself like, that's what I want to do. If I ever am like that, that's how I want to be.
Yeah,
I would
if I ever get rich, nobody gonna know.
Exactly. I would never. I was still like, Holly, we've talked about this. I'd buy a Honda, maybe an Acura, maybe.
Right.
I wouldn't like, and I wouldn't want like a bunch of like, I mean, I would want a nice house. I have, you know, whatever. But it's, some people find peace in making money and spreading the wealth to the people they love or the people that deserve it, to leave a legacy.
Right.
To it's not necessarily for the designer this, that. Now I'm guilty of it. I like designer stuff. I like, you know, whatever. I can't afford it, so how stupid would it look for me going around buying a brand new bag?
When if you got money, it's like, if you got money, you can travel to places where nobody knows you, and about
exactly
people that know them to see they got money. They want to be flashy. They want to be known. They want notoriety. They want people with money to know who they are. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just get your money and live your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's all about humility.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's all about humility. Like, get your money. I'm like that type of person. And would I have been like this in my 20s and 30s? Maybe, probably.
Not me.
I don't know. I think I would have. I don't know. I think it comes. Isn't it a lot of the best lessons in life come at a later age, right?
Yeah, not in my 20s. In my 20s,
right.
Birdman out
You
here.
would have been popping bottles in the whatever. But I mean, like, I know people that are like have tons of money that you would look at them and be like, you would never know.
Right.
And they
Like in
still
my 30s, I was probably I was like
no, if
20s,
I would have invested just a little bit more money, I could be sitting pretty right now, but no, I still have to sign on to the damn computer every morning. But yeah, no. Life's reflections, when you really seriously sit back once you hit a certain age, you
right.
look back, you want your kids to be good, kind people, productive members of society, and the the messed up society we live in, right?
Right.
So, and you just want that, you want to leave a legacy. You want people to say, man, she was a good person. Like people that pass away,
Yeah.
and I'm like, people that pass away, like I had a friend of mine, he's 97, just recently passed away, and his kids, I met with his kids because he's going to be he was a colonel in the military, so he'll be buried in Arlington Cemetery. So I'm like, let me know, when it, because it's months, right? We have to wait. But I said, your father was like the kindest person I know. I can count on my hand, like he's up there on that hand of mine that he genuinely listened to you when you had a problem, or he found out that something happened in your life and he offered some advice, or that kind of stuff. And his kids were so proud, and they were like, it makes us proud because dad always instilled that in us, and his children are doing it now. Now granted, his children are in their 50s and 60s, right? Because he's 90 something. So just that. And I was like, I lost my father at a young age. So I think that, and I told his son, I said, you know what? I think my father placed your father in my life for a reason. You know what I mean? Like all these good men that, you meet, and people and their character. And that's why I'm so like always stressed about character and stuff in people,
Right.
So that's all you can wish for. I don't know if I'm off on a tangent, but this kind of stuff is important to me. Like money, I have seen money destroy people, and it's just ugly.
Absolutely.
It's just ugly. It's just ugly. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Hassan. You got something to say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just agreeing. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I want. I want people to say, and there's certain things that have happened in my life, and after I've been through the storm, I say to myself, if I ever come across somebody that's going through what I went through, I'm going to offer every bit of help I can give to them, and I do till this day. So I guess that's all you can do. You have to just be a good person, and I think that I love having these conversations with um, like-minded people, or people that, may want, give a different opinion, but it's not all about the shenanigans and stuff sometimes, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
people are people. People have stuff going on in their life, and sometimes people act accordingly to how they were raised in their environment and what's going on in their life, and they're not mature enough to restrain themselves, should I say. But just be a good person, that's all I'm saying. Well, I'm sorry to have rambled on. I think I should. I'm at the 24-hour CVS, so they're threatening me like, you better come pick up this medicine or we're putting it back.
Oh no. It's only 7. It's only 7:30.
I know, right? And I don't drive. I don't like Michael's like, get up, go get your med. I'm like, go with me because I don't feel like driving. I can't see at night. My glasses. Remember, I sat on my glasses. I had to sit. Here I've got like premium health insurance with like a firm that I work for, and I'm one of those people. I'm just like, I'll get my glasses later. Do we have any crazy glue at the house? You know, like let me crazy glue them together. But I'm even at my age trying to be on a trying to get my finances in order and stuff like that, because money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does make life a lot easier.
Right.
That's my motto. And if you have it, you could give it to people that deserve it, and you could spread the love and the wealth. That's what it's all about.
That's what
Absolutely.
it's all about.
All right, gentlemen, listen, I know I'm the one, I'm go on and on, but I
appreciate it. This was a great bill, Pamela.
well, I'm
Yes,
glad, and I
man.
love I you know how I feel about both of you. Thank you both for discussing these things with me, and I hope you have a good rest of the night, and maybe we'll talk again.
All right. Salute. Appreciate you.
Be safe and
You're
be
like,
blessed.
you sound like, who do I sound like? You could troll me a little bit.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just
Pamela.
kidding. Okay. I'm sorry. Everybody, thank you for listening and supporting the channel. And everybody, stay safe and be well. And I'll see you next time.
Salute.
Bye.
See you later. Yeah, bro. I guess that's my cue to follow on out the door. Yeah, this was a good conversation though.
Nah,
Good
appreciate
build.
you, my bro. Appreciate you.
Man, you already know, man. Hey, listen, be safe and be blessed, man.
All right, my brother.
All right, bro.
Salute. Yeah, man. That was a good build. Now, nothing is perfect. There's some things that I want to say. So listen,